Oh, well, hey, babe. It's Jamie, that's me here. Okay, welcome back to my channel. Let's go ahead and get into Married to Medicine. All right, y'all, come on in, come on in. Hey, Vanessa, let me know that you guys can hear me very clearly. Let me know that you guys can hear me. I hope you can. As we go ahead and get through this review pretty quickly when it comes to Married to Medicine, okay? Hold on one second, y'all. Let me go ahead and 1 second, fix something there. Okay, perfect. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and hop into, okay, we good, Andrella. I hope I said that right, Andrella. Thank you. Hey, man. Hey, Yolanda. Come on into the room. If you guys are catching the playback, okay, we thank you. Come on in. Make sure you like on your way in. Come on in, like on your way in. All right, let's go ahead and get it started. So this episode we had Quad go ahead and link up with Anila. First of all, it was raining outside and she had Anila sitting outside, and I was like, girl, you know, you could have opened that door. You knew this lady was coming to your house. You ain't have to have her waiting outside trying to wipe down some glasses that you should have already had her standing out there in the rain, honey. I thought that was quite funny. But Anila comes in, she got all these bags and stuff, honey. Quite like, girl, where you going? I know you ain't got no issues in your marriage, right? Oh, okay then, girl. Okay, now if you were to come over to my house, you know you're only good for 1 day, okay? Because I get them in and I get them out. You cannot stay over here like that, girl, okay? So Anila goes and opens up some things to show Quad what she got, honey. She had some wefts of hair, and you know we like some hair, honey. She had some long ones. Quad had to get up off her seat so she could check it out. Now, of course, Quad is not going to have a sit down with Anila without having a conversation about Toya, just making sure that Toya and Anila are no longer friends. So that's what I was getting from Quad. She wanted to know what was going on with that friendship, and she speaks on what she don't like about Toya and how she does not like the fact that Toya does not take accountability for her actions. She don't own up to her shit. I can't really fault Quad on that. I understand. I feel like she don't, and she damn sure don't do that when it come to her own husband. So how you think she gonna act when it come to y'all out there? Okay. That was that, I believe, when it comes to Quad and Anila, because Anila is still trying to figure out what the hell going on with Toya and why she doing her the way that she doing her. Like, okay, I'm your friend. We new friends, and you are already turning on me. So Anila is still in her feelings about that. Now here we go with Simone and Cecil. Simone called Cecil to come on in there, baby. Come on in here and have a seat, because I got something to let you know. You know, he kind of concerned, like he did something. And it ain't nothing that he did. It's Miss Lisa Nicole Cloud. Okay, so she was basically running some type of COVID testing camp or whatever. She had lab or something. And now she said that well, I'll get into that when we get to the conversation. But long story short, these people were testing to get their results, and they never got their results. They wanted to know whether or not they had the virus or they didn't have the virus. I just hope that all of those people that went out trying to get this test, that could not get this test, y'all, I really hope and pray that these individuals were able to go somewhere else and get that testing. Because when you're testing for a virus like this is extremely serious, and you do not know who you're going around and who you are affecting. And the fact that she connected with some fraud and flawed type of company that could have potentially been backed up and did not get the information back out to the patients or whatnot, that's so up. That is just so messed up to me. Ain't no telling who else those people was up there infected, but I would have hoped that if they didn't hear anything after a week or so, that they would have went somewhere else and when it got more results. I would hope so. So Simone is a bit worried right now. She's like, I don't know if I should do this town hall. I don't know how the ladies are really going to feel about it with Miss Lisa being all up in the news. So, you know, she had to call her good Judy Miss Heavenly. Heavenly so messy. Heavenly say, honey, listen, I ain't got nothing to do with that, girl. I'm not a part of y'all town hall, honey. So I'm just going to reserve my comments for the moment, girl. I ain't got nothing to say on that, girl. I'm just going to moonwalk into the back because me and Lisa have not been on good terms. So I can't really give you much on that, honey. I'm going to go ahead and scoot over here. Okay. So that's when Simone decided to go and hop off the phone with Miss Thing. We see Miss Heavenly then called Jackie like, girl, I don't know what you calling me for, honey. She was like, girl, I'm booked on that day, honey. Okay, I'm sure I got some patience. I won't be nowhere near that mess, girl, so you can go somewhere else with that. Then she called Quad. Quad was very sensible in her answer. Quad said, listen, I think we should give Lisa Nicole the time to actually speak her piece and tell us what was going on. Portia Kayla says, that made no damn sense to be tested in the summer and not receive results until the fall. Actually, I don't even think they got the results in the fall, because Quad said it's October now. So mind you, those people still did not even get their results. Quad said, Quad said, when was they supposed to get them? Where was they supposed to get them from? From the grave? I was like, okay, I holler, because you're so right. You're so right. And the fact that, to me, Lisa Nicole wasn't on top of it, making sure these people got that, because when a person gets the virus, or if you were to get it, I thought the nurse is supposed to call you, or somebody's supposed to call you, right, and tell you, hey, this is what you have. Make sure you're exercising this, you're doing that, you're doing this, or whatever like that, and isolate yourself basically. So it's like, how could you not know what was going on or be on top of that when you should have had the right nurses and the right medical people with you to be able to administer certain phone calls and certain things like that? And granted, it's not too far-fetched for Lisa Nicole and them to own a lab, considering the fact that her husband is a doctor. So I understand if they do own the lab, but it's shameful if she is the person in full control of that, knowing that she does not understand that background completely. Lisa is money hungry and wants the credit for everything. I see that. I agree with it. She do. She be quick. Like when she brought that RV, honey, she couldn't wait to let y'all know, girl, this is my RV, honey. Lisa has always been like that. I don't know what Lisa has gone through in her childhood or something, that she gotta be that type of uppity type person. I got this boutique up here. Like, first of all, Lisa is stretched so thin. So thin. Like, why would y'all want to? The way she's portrayed on TV, this may not be how she is in person, but the way she's portrayed on TV, it's like she don't know how to handle her business. Heavenly has shown y'all, this situation has shown y'all, the only thing she got right was the town hall, and that's probably because she had other people come in and help her with that. You stretched so far thin. Then she focused on clothing. You got the boutique. You got this RV situation over here. You showing us how you got all this money, which is great, wonderful. And then you doing how you go from a clothing. You should have had a clothing lab. How you go from a clothing boutique and all the way over here to the lab, honey? And here's the gag. We didn't hear anything about her husband. Okay, the news people said this lab was ran by Lisa Nicole. That's what they said. Lisa Nicole Cloud is what she said. Heavenly had me dying when she called Jackie and Quad. Do you hear me? And then gonna ask Quad about the date that she's been on. Has she been seeing this man, or what's been going on? Quad said, girl, scoot back. No, ma'am, scoot back. This is my tea. You all in my business, ma'am. I need you to back about 10 feet. That was a funny. But I was kind of like with Heavenly, though, like, no, Quad, for real. Who you on a date with, girl? Just tell us a little bit. Who you just tell us a little? We just want to know a little bit. Just tell us a little something. I remember that happening in the news. It wasn't just her lab. Okay, so it wasn't just her lab. Who else was in on it? Was it like her husband? Was it other people? Because I've never seen it until I saw the show. Hold on. She said she ain't had no equipment then, girl. How you doing tests? That's what I'm saying. And then she turned around on the RV and said that she did have her equipment. And then something about the equipment coming in late. And I'm like, well, girl, obviously you didn't have the equipment when you needed the equipment to be there to administer all this shit. Basically, I need her to be honest and just say, I overextended myself. I did not know what I was doing. I tried to be helpful to the community and I went about it the wrong way. And I don't know what else she can do to, I don't know, send out some cards or shit. You know, sincerely apologize and then try to turn around and blame the people. Talking about, well, you know how people aren't customers or whatever she said. Talking about some, you know, when they're not happy, you know, they just make all of these complaints as if they're the problem. No, ma'am, you're the problem. You're the problem. That's why they start speaking out against you. If you was doing everything right, they wouldn't have a reason to speak out against you, ma'am. Who Lisa is a stone cold mess, honey. Let me go up. Somebody said something about a... Ooh. Yeah, she was lying. I believe she was lying. The newswoman here, this woman here, the news was shady as hell. The laugh for me was the face, was the picture they put up of Lisa. I thought that was hilarious. She lets us know that about 3 seasons ago, when her and Heavenly got together to do an event, And we saw how that event went. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Okay. So that fell flat, but I thought it was comical to see Heavenly give a call to Jackie and Quad. I thought that was funny. So let's go ahead and talk about Contessa and her man Scott. Okay. I feel like both of them are part fault in the breakdown of their marriage. Contessa's trying to have a call with her therapist lady, her life coach. Scott comes in, he leans in, seeing what's going on, okay? Then asks if he should leave, should he walk out? And Contessa says, no, stay, because she's about to wrap up her point. And I'm like, how you gonna wrap this lady point up? How you gonna wrap her point up when she just got on the phone with you? Okay, so this lady starts to, she told Scott he could stay there now. I think Contessa just annoyed by anything that this man does, because I think high key, she probably more tired of him than he tired of her. So the lady says, I don't even know what the lady said. What did Contessa say? No, the lady was telling her about herself and how Contessa doesn't want to be a person that whines a lot and things like that. Now, the whole time, Scott is listening in on this conversation, and everything that Contessa says she doesn't want to be, or at least the therapist points out that Contessa said she doesn't want to be. Scott was like, girl, you like, bitch, I know you lying. Like, you know, he over there making all kind of faces and stuff. She's like, look, see, look at, you see these faces, you know? It's like he makes the faces, you know, he agrees with the negative stuff, but none of the positive stuff ever. Something like that. And I'm like, okay, girl, she's tired of this man. Okay, so she ends up getting off the phone, and to me, I feel like she damn near hung up in the therapist's face. Damn near, okay, I'm gonna call you back. Okay, all right, thanks for your time. Click. I mean, can she say bye? I feel like you damn near hung up in this lady's face because she was so upset with him. But for me, did you guys notice Contessa's face the entire time they were in the kitchen? I really felt like she was already sad about something, because to me, it looked like she just wanted to cry. Like, just from the moment they had the camera on her when she ended up talking to the therapist, like she was already in her eyes, like ready to cry. So whatever was happening between her and Scott didn't take much for her to cry, because she was already in her feelings about something. Another thing I want to point out while it's on my mind, y'all know she was in that kitchen cooking, right? She was putting in the potatoes and whatever else she was doing. I was like, girl, you doing a prayer board? What you over there doing? But when they got into their little speak and spat, he got ready to walk off. She said something about starting over. I look at the food and I see, damn, she must have burnt that meal arguing with that man and having to start over and recook it all over again, because I didn't see like all the same stuff that was up there as it was before. So I was like, okay, I hate that y'all edited out so much. I wish I would have got to see a little more, but okay, I guess y'all gave us enough, right? So when they got off the phone, Contessa asked him, why did he get married or something like that? Why did he get married? He said, I got married to have like a successful marriage or whatever. He says that, she said, well, what have you been doing to maintain that? He said the same thing I told you. You know, you're working on yourself back in your life coach. She said, oh, and you got one too? He was like, well, yeah, I got a life coach. She's like, oh, really? When did this happen? How long you been doing this? And he was like, oh, I have a life coach that I talk to, but I don't pay them or anything like that. But I have somebody that I've been talking to for about 6 or 7 months. And she was like, well, where did you find him at? He was like, oh, I found him, you know, on the internet. I did some research or whatever. And that's how he found him. But Contessa immediately deduces it right on down to the fact that he lying, and that it's probably some woman that he talking to like that on that level. And she's upset about it. She's mad about it. And I can't tell her not to be mad. I don't know the situation. He could genuinely have met somebody. No, I'm lying. That don't even sound right. You went online to seek out a therapist for their services, and the therapist has yet to charge you. Yeah, that right there, I'm going to scratch my head on that one. But I feel like she should definitely be upset with the fact that we're in a whole marriage, and this is something that you have not told me. You have not told me. And when I come to you about therapy, you try to downplay it and make it seem like we don't need it and all this other shit. But you never told me that that's what you were doing. I don't think that's fair at all. So he's definitely over there getting to know someone else. I don't know on what level, if they're going to, because I feel like you start talking, that means you're telling her your problems and stuff. That's opening up the gateway for there to end up being some type of infidelity. That's kind of not really, but kind of what happened with Cecil and Simone, when he had that female friend that he would confide into a lot instead of confiding into his wife, and that woman became a problem. And she was like, it's either going to be that BIT or it's going to be me. And I think he even took a road trip with this lady or something like that. Like, she's just always tagging around. But that's in the past. They were able to, you know, do what they need to do and make their relationship work. So hopefully Scott and them can do the same. You know, she starts crying about them being disconnected and saying that she wants them to be disconnected. And then he goes into, and I'm kind of like, did y'all chop something up? He says, is this supposed to be an interrogation or a conversation? Where the fuck did an interrogation come from? Who said that? Because that makes me think that you over here trying to hide something. If that's not what we're talking about, either that or they done edited something out. How I'm just asking, or I'm just telling you that I feel disconnected from the relationship. I want to feel more connected. And then you turn around and tell me some way, is this going to be an interrogation or a conversation? And she's like, well, I'm just trying to talk because I'm just trying to express myself. And I just really don't know what it is that you want from me. So we must have missed a ton in that conversation, because he definitely got his ass up and said, I'm not dealing with this and I'm leaving. And that's going to forever be Scott's problem. Scott is kind of reminding me, I feel like Gregory for some reason. I don't know why Dr. Gregory, Quad's ex-husband, keeps coming up for some reason. It's like, that's the energy that I'm getting, like not wanting to address or talk about things. And that's not going to get y'all nowhere. You're going to have to open up at some point. It's sad. And then it's like he just had this full conversation with Cecil. Cecil was telling him the right things to do. And here it is. He still want to do what the hell it is he wants to do. So at this point, I feel like he ain't even trying to save their marriage. Like, he's not trying to save it at all, honey. But okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the ladies getting to the town hall meeting. So of course, with the situation going on with the pandemic, they had to do everything virtually. Okay. Now Simone tries to bring up the whole thing about Lisa and what's being put out there in the news. But Lisa's like, girl, listen, I'm not going to deal with that right now. I want to focus on this event and I'll address the SHI later. Okay. Now Quad and the ladies ended up arriving, right? They all had their little cue cards because each one of them was going to like ask questions or whatever. Toya walks over to Quad talking about some stuff. You want to practice? Quad said, girl, I need to practice. I've been doing this for 3 years, honey. Okay. I'm good. You can worry about practicing, girl, but back up off me. I ain't blame Quad on that. Toya went and got in her confessional. She felt the way to talk about if Quad would have done more practicing, then she wouldn't be without a job or whatever. Number one, be careful, girl. Be careful. That's not nice. That's not nice. Okay. That was not Quad's fault that she does not have that job with Sister Circle. That's those people's fault. Okay. I feel like they probably have been wanting to cancel the show for a long time. And just like many other companies that did a mass layoff, they decided to just close. Once the pandemic hit, they just decided to shut it all down. Not even considering the fact that this could actually work virtually and probably work better virtually than it did with the set that you guys had previously. So they ended up shutting everything down. That's why Quad is not at that job. And I expect Quad to know how to answer some questions as well. She's been doing this for 3 years. She could think quick on her feet and everything. She's trained for this. Okay. It's not that difficult. So I don't know what the hell Toya, I don't know what she was on, but okay, girl, let's go ahead and move on. So the ladies get ready to sit down and eat. Kari calls out Lisa and says, girl, you know, with everything going on, honey, I'm surprised that you was in attendance. Okay. And then Quad brings up the fact that, like what we've already talked about, girl, y'all start doing these tests in June and here it is October and these people haven't got anything. Did you want them to get it from the grave? Okay. When was they going to get it? All right. Lisa pretended to to say that she owned the lab. So I guess she, you know, indeed owned the lab. And I feel like it probably was in partnership with her husband or something. I think you guys, I don't know if y'all mentioned who she actually owned that lab with, but, either way it go, it was a fail. So not Jackie, but Simone FaceTimes Jackie to let her know, listen, we inviting the ladies out to the Jekyll event or whatever, to the Jekyll Island or something like that, Jekyll Island or something. So they're going to have a great time. And that's what the plan is. Now, Toya had been throwing a little shade or whatever. She said something about her not wanting to go on the trip. She was trying to be funny, but some part of that undertone, I felt like she was being serious. She really didn't want to go on the trip. But she gonna go anyway, because that's what Toya likes to do. She likes to get away from her kids any moment that she can. So she was definitely down for that. And then later on, we can see where Simone goes over to Anila to have a conversation with her about Toya. And they're trying to talk and everything. And Simone pulls her outside and tries to have the conversation, telling her to listen to her, you know, as far as the situation with she and Toya. And next thing you know, Toya decides she's gonna pop out there too. Like, what y'all talking about? And ask Anila if she wants to have a conversation, okay? Anila is mad and she's really hurt by the loss of the friendship that she has with Toya and the fact that Toya has gone around talking about her in the fashion that she has, and she's yelling at Kari. And I didn't even know she called Kari out when they were at Lisa's house for trying to steal her friend Toya. And I'm kind of like, well, not necessarily, Miss Anila, because Kari has actually been around way longer than you. So it's not so much as her trying to steal Toya from you. She may look at it like you tried to steal Toya from her because she's already been around these ladies. So their friendship is probably way longer. Okay. You're new. But she just got really upset saying that she never talked about Toya or anything like that. She got real loud, real upset. And she just stormed out and left. And I can't tell Anila how to feel. I was kind of like, girl, why are you so loud? But Toya always loud. So I couldn't even be mad at Anila for being loud and yelling and expressing herself in that moment. I couldn't even be mad at her because Toya knows she stay loud and she be loud about the dumbest shit. Okay? So however you feel, girl, feel that way. So once Anila left, the conversation came up where Simone was trying to talk to Toya and tell her, like, girl, you be out here trying to act so tough and you're afraid of being vulnerable with your good girlfriends. And Toya wasn't really trying to receive that, right? I don't know why for Toya to talk so goddamn much. She don't like to hear nothing nobody says, but wants everybody to hear what she say. And I just like, Toya. Anyway, so Simone tries to tell her, like, if you are open to being vulnerable, then you need to tell Quiet that you don't like when she talk about your finances because it actually hurts your feelings. And Quiet like, why the hell? Why am I in this? I ain't saying that to this girl. So then Quiet walks up and let Toya know, like, girl, you cried on my shoulder plenty of times. I've always been here for you, okay? But you started talking about my house and that was disrespectful. So then Toya, who kept calling this girl townhome and apartment, eventually apologizes to Quiet. So now they are on better terms. Even though I felt like that apology, I don't know, it didn't really come off for real sincere because she kept calling the shit a damn apartment or whatever. But I mean, it was good enough for Quiet, so they're back cool. Let's go ahead and move on. So we see where Anila goes over to talk to Jackie. She wants some insight on the situation with Toya. Everything, she says she really wants to salvage the friendship that they have, but she want to know what's going on with Toya. And Jackie like, girl, I don't know what's going on with this girl. I'm trying to figure out now. Okay, I honestly don't know, girl. Maybe you need to have a one-on-one sit down or something with this lady. And then Anila said, well, I've done that. I've tried that. And then Jackie said, well, girl, I don't know what to tell you at this point. Okay, how about this? Just fall back. I agree with Jackie. Sometimes you just got to fall back. Sometimes friendships come, friendships go. Sometimes, like they say, it's for a reason. It's a season. It's a lifetime. It's a minute. You know, it is what it is. If it's supposed to be, the longer you're around these girls, you're going to come back together at some point. You and Toya. And I think she should just fall back and just chill and just wait it out. Okay? Because I don't see it going nowhere for real. Because Toya's not going to, it's probably going to take a minute as it took with Toya and Quad for Toya to come to her senses and acknowledge anything that she's done wrong. So I think she should fall back. That's where they are with that. You know, Jackie showed her some of the products that she's doing for the skincare and things like that. And Anila really liked that. So that was cute. So they get ready to go on this trip, right? And Miss Lisa come in her RV. All of the ladies are there except for Contessa and Heavenly, and those two individuals are at Heavenly's house, so they're waiting to be picked up. So they all get on the bus, and I just thought it was so funny when they arrived to the house how the dog was outside, and the way Heavenly be talking to the animals, saying to get your ass in this house, you gonna get run over, buddy, whatever she be calling him. She's just funny as hell. So once they get the ladies, they're all on the bus. They start talking about their fears. That's the game that they're playing. Kari was asked what her fear is. She said, girl, my fear is crashing in this RV. They asked Lisa about her fear, but she ain't really getting no fear. She just started talking about what she said. She isn't a good judge of people all the time. It says that it's scary to think that you can trust people, but you can't. So were you trying to get back to referencing the situation you had like with your whole lab and stuff? What do you mean where you talk about you think you can trust people, but you really can't? So Simone says, well, you know what you give is what you get back or whatever. And then Heavenly chimes in to let her know that some of the issues you're having and why you may feel like you can't trust people and it's vice versa for you is because of the business that you do. And then Lisa's like, no, girl, you're not going to tell me that. We're not going to talk about that, girl. I'm talking about personal. I'm not talking about business. And Heavenly's like, well, girl, if that's how you handle your business, I want to believe that that's how you are personally. So let me just tell you, like, you was foul and you was wrong, and how you was running your business was whack and it wasn't cool, and it's a no. And Lisa, they got into an argument, child. Lisa called Heavenly a dumb bully ass bitch. Not a dumb bully ass bitch. And said, get her off my RV now. And Heavenly said, oh, baby, I can go and go because I'm sure got an Uber car. I said, I can't, not an Uber car in the middle of nowhere. Yikes, honey. But yeah, they definitely got into it. I don't think Heavenly was telling Lisa anything wrong if Lisa would have been in a position to receive it. But, you know, I think Lisa thinks that she's so perfect and that she doesn't do anything wrong, so she didn't know how to receive that. And I feel like if it would have came from somebody else's lips and not Heavenly, she would have been able to probably receive that more. But sometimes Heavenly can be rude, but I feel like she didn't start off as rude. But what I also did not like was how Lisa was trying to tell Heavenly that her business was legit and the lab was this and the lab was that, and then Heavenly's like, girl, you're not gonna tell me that when I do this. Now, I don't believe Heavenly really does this because she is a dentist, but I do believe that Heavenly is very well aware of how this process goes, considering the fact that her husband has done this quite a few times. So I believe that Heavenly is definitely more knowledgeable than Lisa, okay? And Heavenly finally had one up on Lisa's ass, and Lisa did not know how to take that. Okay, now when it came to the weight, Lisa went far and beyond. She was able to go get the little measuring tape and do all this extra stuff and give her a scale. You thought you was winning that one, honey. But when Heavenly got to you and told you, ma'am, that's not how this process works, and you're not going to sit up here and try and convince me and make me think that that is, okay, I'm going to call you out on your BS. Miss Elisa could not take that. Okay, those are my thoughts on that. Let me go up and read y'all comments before I hop off and get ready for another live later. I will be going live because, Lord, y'all know it's about the lamb chop story. Okay, the song that never ends, the story that never ends with the Wabadias and the side chick. Okay, she done came out, honey. She wants her peach. And then I'm going to go into the contract details that were released. I'm going to read off that information in that live later on in about an hour. Okay, he never said anything, even when they went to Simone's house and Simone's house, and they talked about him not wanting to do therapy. I don't know the time frame, but I know that was 6 to 7 months before that. Right. At least she had a job. I like quiet this episode. Toya annoying. Not Toya is slow. Toya can be extremely annoying. Toya always bullying Anila. And I feel like Anila has put herself in a position to allow people to do that to her. But I found it so interesting when when Simone was like, listen to me. She said, no, you listen to me. I said, okay, Anila, let her know. Let her know. Let her know that she needs to listen to you and where you coming from. I can't wait till Heavenly beat Lisa Nicole up, child. Now see, I don't not beat her up, is she? Heavenly has been on her best behavior. It's only 2 more episodes left. Heavenly was right. Quiet went to Lisa Nicole for business advice. Then Lisa Nicole turns around and get a background check on her. How you get a background check on somebody else, girl, when you the one out here being the fraud that you are? Girl, I cannot. Sounds like karma to me, saying that she does that to everybody she goes into business with. Girl, good night. This girl is a whole mess. But y'all, listen, I'm about to go wrap up this live, hop off so I can get ready for another one. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next live. Okay? Bye-bye.